Problems we tackle today are in the preparation stage. This is the stage where you create your listing, right? And you can save a lot of time, a lot of trouble, and a lot of issues in preparation stage when you create your listing correctly. And I'm just saying you one thing you never want to do. You don't want to create listing based on your gut feeling, then raise up your two fingers and then hope for the best. Don't do that. All right? Cool? Agreed? Yes, let's go. The problems we tackle today, these are the questions, I always ask these from my employees, and I'm going to ask them from you as well. So are you able to explain me in 30 seconds why should I buy your product instead of competitors' product on the market? Second question, does your main image and headline tells the customer why are your product better than competitors' product? Does your main image stands out? Is it in contrast from the crowd on the main page? You need to ask these questions from yourself. If you can answer these questions really clearly, oh boy, you will be so ahead. And does your second image and first bullet tell a customer why your product is better than others? And this is the second question, when they enter your listing, so second image and the first bullet point. Are they actually tackling also something because people are comparison machines, right? And next question is, does your listing really help customer? Help them, teaching them, teaching ins and outs on the market so they can make the right purchase decision. You don't want to sell something to the people who don't want to buy your product. I mean, even if you are able to sell something to the person who doesn't really need your product, would you do that? I think it's a mindset question. I would never sell something to a person who doesn't need that, because I call this a scam, right? That's why all the programs and all the trainings we are selling to the people we have all the money back guarantee until they have tested it and seen it, until they have experienced the program, right? So let's go to the Amazon listing copywriting first, because this is the images are cool, copywriting something like bleh. So yeah, let's tackle the bleh thing first, right? Okay. So because I'm not a writer myself, and it's kind of difficult to do. This is a difficult topic, right? But there's still some things I want you to just understand. Okay. So how to sell without selling? It's about providing value. Have you ever gone to the store and spoke with some salesman and they give you some information which will make you to go, oh wow, thanks, I didn't know that. Now when I want to buy this product, now I know that this is important and that is important, and I need to check that it doesn't have this issue, right? We kind of need to give something to the person which provides them value, and we have to help a customer to make best purchase decision. I mean, let's take the ego out of this game, right? So everybody are on Amazon screaming buy me, buy me, buy me. I think people are pretty sick of this stuff, right? I mean, how likely you are to buy if someone screams to your face, buy me, buy me, buy me, forcing your product on it. So think about this, right? People are sick of everyone convincing them to buy, and we don't convince. We help them by giving them valuable information that helps them to choose better. We don't convince, we give them value. And that's the difference in future. A lot of marketers, Ryan Dice, Barry Belcher, they all say the same thing. I mean, we are living in an age where you don't convince, scam people. People are sick of it, right? And so make customer feel wow, that's great, helpful information for me. Thank you. I mean, after visiting your listing, give them information that they didn't have before. And I can explain you in a second. Last week, I went through the perfect product blueprint research together with you guys. And we discovered all these issues and all these things. And now this is your competitive advantage. And so how do you use that stuff, right? We ask in a perfect product blueprint, we ask questions like, what are the must-have attributes and features of that product standard on the market? And let me give you an example. So if you buy cell phone, if you buy mobile phone this moment, you probably know that it has to have a camera. So how many megapixels? It has to have 5G already, it's coming on, right? You're looking at how many gigs it has, right? What else? What operating system or whatever. So you already have these things in your mind which you are comparing when it comes to the mobile phones, right? So let me ask you a question. If you sell something on Amazon and people are comparison machines, why don't we make sure that we have all these things that people compare on our listing easily to understand, easy to see, right? I remember when I was selling honey, from an Estonian seller. As soon as I put kilo price, people were actually validating honey based on how much, what's the price per kilo. And the sales changed dramatically immediately because I gave people something to compare. And think about, if you buy something from the store, you also compare. So what are these attributes that you compare about your product? And one exercise you can do is you can type in the main keyword of your product on Amazon and just read headlines and ask yourself, what are these elements you found from the headlines which make you to compare this product better? Cool, right? Next thing, On the Pefect product blueprint, we did these quality issues, usability issues, instructional issues, other issues, right? And so you know that stuff now, right? Like if you did that product blueprint and you wrote and read all competitors' reviews and categorized all these issues, and even if you fixed some of them, right? Why don't we give this information to customers? Why don't we tell them that, hey guys, like, hey dude, if you want to buy this product, make sure that this issue is not there. And then at the same time, you're showing on your listing image that you don't have that issue. You have fixed that problem already. You know, if you actually research the market and you know all the quality issues, maybe there's some material issues, right? Maybe some usability issues, like this, some type of product or the same, like the similar type of product is bad. It always confuses or makes problems for the customer. Or maybe there's some other issues like safety issues with some similar product you have. Why don't you tell that to the customer? It helps the customer, right? And imagine if you can make your customer go like, oh, wow, thanks guys, thank you. I mean, like if they will leave your listing with information you gave them and they go to the next listing and next listing doesn't say anything about this material, anything about this usability thing, then what do you think they will do? They will be uncertain to buy from that other listing because, you know, they are not mentioning that stuff, right? And then we have this like who, where, when, what, why, you know, on product blueprint, we did that, right? This is the research. Like I said last call, that this is the foundation for your sales and success. So if you know all that stuff now, right? Imagine how powerful this information is. Now all you can do is to prioritize and deliver that information to the customer from what is most important to what is least important. The thing is that if you know who is buying, then this is the person you put on the images, right? Because they want to relate to what are you doing. If you know where they are using this product, you're gonna put your image again, right? You don't use your gut feeling unless you know everything about the product and you do the market research, because some products can be used different way, and so you want to do the research, right? And so why they're buying and what they like about it, and then if you even go to the questions and answers on your competitors' listings, then you can find amazing questions. People are asking for all sorts of questions, and the best thing about the questions and answers is that the questions are like voted. People have been voting these questions, so you can actually see which question is most asked. I mean, all the information you ever need is there. If you just start thinking and making this research and thinking about like how do you use that information, then you got it, right? So after you do the blueprint and you answer all these questions here, right, all you need to do is just think about like what drives that person the most, because you have all these things, right? And if you tackle all of these drivers like fear, desire, like future pacing and imagination, how success looks like, you also tackle all these features, and you know what you need to tackle. What you're doing now, you're not doing copywriting based on gut feeling. Everything you write has a meaning, and everything comes from the reviews, customer complaints, and customer sentences. And this is just so cool, because your product becomes alive, because you're not trying to sell. You are providing them value, just value. You're just giving them complete value and making sure that they're going to make a good decision on buying this product. And if they don't buy your product, that's good. That's also good, because you don't want people who don't want your product to buy your product. You want only people who use and want your product to buy your product, because you don't want to get bad reviews from someone who really didn't need the product, just bought the product because you convinced them so hard and give them so crazy promises that they didn't, maybe they didn't need, just saying. Cool. Okay, so let's start. Images. That's my favorite topic, because I also, like at the beginning when I started Amazon, I mean, I did all the images myself. I mean, with my two daughters, I went outside, did all these images, and funny that, even like Alibaba, in Alibaba, they're using my images, my daughters there, it's just crazy. I mean, honestly, it's just insane. What do you do? Well, don't complain. Okay, so anyway, always work on the system, not in the system. So approach images in systematic way. That's why I went to Philippines, hiring all these people, because I want to build a system and get people to do that stuff, because I want to grow, and we need to grow, and I want to grow in this Amazon business. So I want to know how to do it better, faster, and how make people to do that. And so that's why it's easy for me to teach that, because I'm teaching that stuff all the time with my own employees. So strategic plan for the images. So these are the basic image types I want you to adapt. If you think about images, then think about image categories or image types or image purposes. And each of these images has different angle and different purpose. And why Amazon listing images are important. Let's speak about that first. Let's get that out of the way, because maybe some people don't know. So main image is important to get clicks, right? Your main image, if it doesn't stand out, if it's not in contrast, if there's not something cool there, then if it fades into the everything, then it doesn't stand out. You don't get clicks, right? And you measure that by click-through rate in that search term report. Click-through rate is, by the way, something that you need to learn how to read. Extremely important. So other images, you get sales, right? and you measure that by conversion rate, right? Conversion rate as overall conversion rate in business reports and in search term reports. So as you see, main image drives mostly the clicks, and other images are driving mostly conversion rate, something like this. So main image, what do you need to know about main image? There's different ways how you can tackle the main image, but one of the things you can see on this particular comparison is the image on the right side is filled. It's like really, really full, right? It has almost no white space, right? And if your competitors don't have or have a lot of white space, then try to always fill the main image as much as you can, because it really makes your product bigger. It feels more abundant, and obviously if your product has different things, like this guy has a lot of things in the package, put all of them there, because this makes it feel that you have a lot of things. But he's using also the badge, which is not allowed, so do this with your own caution. But I really like that on the right side. I think it's something for the beard. This image is really cool because it feels really like abundant. It's a lot of things for this price, right? Now the middle image I like and put it here because they are doing something that again nobody's doing. There's like electricity going out there, right? Again, it's a little bit freaky, but then again, it's something that catches your attention because nobody's doing that. I mean, a lot of people are not doing that. I immediately found, and this immediately catches my attention because they're doing, again, something that nobody's doing, right? Now, on the left side, it's the same thing. When I saw that image, I was like curious. Like, what is that? Because it's on the main page, it's so much smaller. And if you can put something on the image that drives curiosity, like this one here, like a coffee is dropping on a couch, right? Then people will start, oh, what is that? Oh, whoa, wait a second, what is that? And I remember there's so many cool tricks you can do. One product was like a woman was holding the product with a hand, and there was like beautiful nails, like beautiful red nails. And these nails were capturing attention immediately. Of course, this is a gray area. Do it with your own caution. But Amazon basically allows you to add like product and package and everything that's product contains on a main image. It doesn't allow you to add badges or anything that's not in the package on the main image. On Amazon Estonian conference, I bought out that we are designing the packages also to stand out from the crowd, and that's what we still do. We make a main image like we type in the main keyword, and then we make a screenshot, and we put our different packages that we have on there on top 5. And then we tackle the colors and angles in a way that, okay, we want to stand out. And usually on top of the box, I put this red stripe, a big red stripe, which like is pointing to the headline. But anyway, everybody can do it in the way they want to do. But remember that your product has to stand out. And usually the way you stand out is by shape, by amount of products you add on the main image, by angle, by colors, and by elements, and by curiosity or something like this, electricity stuff. So that's about main image. Let's go further. Second most important image on your Amazon listing is a second image. And I know a lot of people can actually argue with that, but I believe that. Because I think that the second image people are looking is either the second image or the last image. They go either to the second image or to the last image after they come on your listing. And, that's where I ask you, if people are opening your listing, are you able to explain them in 30 seconds why your product is better than others? Are you? Here you go. You have solutions here. This is how you do it. when you did the product blueprint, then that's how you do it, right? So you do that. It's really common sense, guys. I mean, it's so simple. You just think about what are the things people are comparing on the market, and you make these. That's yes. We have that. Others have that. And now you put these like the things that are the problematic things, like or things that others. Or maybe things that you added to the product, and you make these as a red element. It's like, no, right? And so this is the way how you this is called infographic. And if you want to know about infographics, you can type in I think Pinterest or something. You can type in infographic, and you find a lot of infographics, a lot of different style infographics. And like the image already says, infographic is something that can provide lots of information in really fast and quick way, and it provides information in comparison mode. And remember what guys, like what are people? They are comparison machines. They want to do a smart decision, right? And you're helping them. You're helping them to make a smart decision. So that's why I say this image should be either second or last on your Amazon listing. You can choose, you can test it, right? Cool, let's go to the next image. Strategic plan, image number 3, emotional image. Emotional image actually is about emotions, as it says, emotion. And remember, guys, we spoke about in blueprint, right? We have these, who's buying, and for who they buy, these 2 questions, right? So these are the people who are actually want you, when they look at your images and look at your product, then they want to kind of like feel in that moment. I mean, this left side, the dad is playing chess with the guy, with the little boy. It's a good image because it really tackles emotions, right? If the father wants to buy the chess, then this is what they want to feel, right? They want to feel that the son will feel good. Even if they lose, it doesn't matter because they want the son to feel good, right? And so I would say the boring emotional image is the middle one on top here, where the people are just sitting with a tent. It's not even nice weather, and I put it there on purpose because this can be done so much better. I mean, people really want emotions. Like emotions means that something cool, something funny, something. I mean, something that you can can relate better. It's fine emotional image, but it's, I think, in my opinion, the middle one with the tent, it's actually a boring main image, boring emotional image. And then there's like one party game and people are drinking. But you know what? Yeah, I don't know. But basically, you want emotions, right? Emotions with the products. This is pretty basic. And you will find actually from the blueprint, we also have these occasions, right? We have these questions. What are the occasions people using the product? And you will find that from reviews as well. And if you don't, then dig deeper or just, I know, Google. But basically, people are not buying product for, how they say it, like they don't buy drill for the drill, they buy drill to make a hole in the wall, right? They actually buy hole in the wall. So fear image. Now, this is cool stuff, I met one guy in Las Vegas, an Amazon seller, and he sold umbrellas. And he made this, in Finland, there's this one place where you can fly. Like you can go there and then this is like a small room that really blows air from up to the air, and then you can fly, like literally you can be on the air. And he made this video with umbrella in that particular place where there's really strong wind coming from down, and then umbrella didn't break, right? He really made a good sales with that stuff. So that's, if you can show your product somehow, wind tunnel, Fernie, yes. So he made this umbrella image there and video also, and he made a good sales with this umbrella because the umbrella didn't break. Again, in the blueprint we had that. What are the usability issues, material issues, all this stuff, right? So if you can make your product better or show somehow that your product is not breaking or does not have these issues that people are fearing and they're leaving bad reviews for your competitors, then voila, you have a winner. And imagine, do you know what people do before they buy? If they don't read the reviews, then at least they read some bad reviews. They try to at least somehow talk themselves out of buying something. They're still like, oh, should I buy this or not? Oh, shit, I know. Let's see the bad reviews. Let's check those bad reviews. Maybe I will not buy this product. Yeah, I knew that this is the problem. This is the problem. Oh, this guy doesn't have that, right? And by the way, as you see, we approach things and these images systematically. Like I told, always think from systematic standpoint, like always work on the system, not in the system, right? And this is another type of image, like a question image, and I call it question image because usually people are asking these questions from your competitors' listings. They're asking is it oven safe? Is it microwave safe? Like is this perfect for? Is it good for kids or women? Usually this question image is like perfect for, like meant for. Who is this meant? In which occasions you can use that product, and for what type of safety or whatever there is. So you can find that from the questions type. And if people are really asking some type of questions everywhere about this product, you can, if you tackle that thing, again, your product is supreme because nobody else is tackling that question. They just need to ask that question from these competitors. So you can actually, this is your opportunity to show that on your listing images, and boom, you have a better listing image. All right, cool. Features, size, image. You know how many bad reviews you have received because the product was a little bit bigger or actually smaller than actually they received. If your product has that problem that people might perceive that the product is bigger, and when they receive a product and it's smaller, you better show these measurements there. And of course, if you don't have that problem, then always good is to show the whole package, like what is in the package, like in totality in the package. Like features can be everything. Features and size, I put it in one because, like when you show these sizes of the product, you can also show that also the materials and the contents of the package. And it can actually combine into one picture in order to save space. So features and sizes can actually fit into one image on a lot of cases. You can see on the first image on the left side, it's from the one suitcase. And it actually only shows features, like there's like TSA locks and soft handle and balanced edge, and it only shows features, right? But on many cases, you can features and sizes you can put in one image. And think about this. It's really stupid if you get a bad review because someone, you were selling something amazing and they received something mini. We had this product, and sometimes you need to put something on next to that product. We had this I think we had some bowling set or something like bowling, like, you know, kids bowling stuff or something. And it was so small. And on pictures, it looks cool. So actually, it was as big as this little can, 33 liters, like 0.33 liters can. So I had to put the can on it next to it so people understand. We just got so many bad reviews otherwise. And instructions image. Ask yourself if your product is something that is difficult to understand. Like this product, for example, is a for cars. If they have a scratch on the window, then you can fix that scratch somehow with this tool. And sometimes people think that if the product is not easy to understand what it does, then you kind of need to explain it on image so people will see that, oh, this is just takes 20 minutes or this is a few minutes and it's easy to use actually. Because sometimes your product is really difficult to understand how to use that. And people may think that, oh, it's so difficult to use that product, or it's difficult to assemble that product, or difficult to, you know, whatever. No, you read that actually from the bad reviews, again, from competitors. You already know that problem. So you can tackle that with instructions image. If there is instructional problems, then you can tackle that with instructions image. We have that on many cases. And you know what? On the left side, I put here, upload your video. Do you know that you can actually upload videos to your listing? I don't know, is this like for branded products only? But we have that. And if you have that, then I recommend to upload some how to use the product, how to assemble the product, how to whatever do with the product, how to be happy with the product, like add stuff there. All right, cool. So, by the way, a lot of people don't know what type of problem they have. Like usually the product doesn't sell. So the first question is, do you have a traffic or conversion problem? And if you have a traffic problem, then it's keyword research, main image, and reviews and headline, right? Think about if you don't have a lot of traffic on your listing, then one of the ways you can get that better improved is with ads and keyword research. But still, it's a main image. And if you have a bad click-through rate on your keywords, then you should definitely tackle the main image and the headline. And remember that in the headline, if your product is really dependent on comparison, like I said, then make sure you add that stuff to the headline, which so people are easy to compare. Yeah. What are the biggest restrictions? Restrictions to what? The images? Restrictions. If you speak about restrictions on images, then the biggest restrictions are texts. And remember, I showed you this infographic, right? So in some categories, infographics are really bad to use, and because nobody's using it, and it might be that Amazon can, you know, it's a gray area. So I'm going to tell you immediately, you know, use it to your own caution. But usually the texts are bad when you are doing marketing. So remember that if you are doing marketing means that you're trying to convince, you're trying to sell with the text on the image, then Amazon, they don't like it. But if the texts on your image are informative means that they are just giving information that is good for the customer, then it's, you know, I've not seen any friends, I don't have any friends who had huge problems with at least I don't know, maybe there is, but just keep texts, don't convince anyone to buy. Don't do any like buy now or have this weird sentences which make people to buy. Like rather just be plain and blunt with just give information what is good for them, right? Another restrictions that Amazon doesn't want is that if you have one unit in a box, then you put it on a main image with like 3 units. Like you put this one product from many different angles on the main image. This is actually one tactic that we have used before, you know, to make main image feel more abundant. We put the same product in many different angles. You can try it out. We put box in different angles and product in different angles to the main image, and Amazon doesn't like it. You know, but again, you know, they probably just remove the image if they don't like it. Don't put text on the main image. Main image, you know, text in not. Don't ever put any text on the main image, and don't ever put any badges on the main image. Even if others are doing that, don't do that, okay? Rather put the badge on the box, you know, and show the box different angles, and, you know, put the product in many different angles. And even that is really gray area, but, you know, it can show more abundance on the main image. Sometimes also showing things, what Amazon doesn't like is also badges, like badges in other images. Like badges are in other images are also this marketing stuff, right? So don't try to do that. I don't recommend to do that anyway. So again, like you have to take this approach that you don't need to convince anyone to buy your product. Don't convince. Convincing is actually, in my opinion, it actually kills. Imagine, guys, when I'm going to start convincing you now so that you have to buy something from me. I mean, how do you feel? You won't feel great, right? So anyway, like even the ebook, you can show, I mean, I wouldn't show it on the main image. You can do it if you can, I mean, you can try it out, but yeah, ebook is also something that I would show on some other images. Yeah, right, cool.